Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Unleash Her. Today, I have a very special guest. I'm very excited to share my friend and his story with you, Devon Taylor. Devon, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh my gosh, you're welcome. So we met a couple of years ago and through our publishing company. And I just really resonated with you from the very beginning. And I want people to hear your story because I know they're going to be inspired. And you were phenomenal. We also met in Naples and we were on this really big stage, and it was really it's very intimidating for me. And
hmm
you were absolutely amazing. You
hmm
killed it. Okay.
Thank you.
So just yeah, tell us about yourself, please.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I mean that stage was intimidating. I felt super whew, that night. I felt so many emotions before we hit the stage, but yeah, my story is I was coaching. I'm from Long Beach, California. That's where I grew up. I played volleyball. I transitioned from playing volleyball to coaching, and that was kind of like my thing. I was like the coaching guy. And I thought that was what I was going to be doing for the rest of my life, until I retired or whatever that the case was. And one day I was coming home from coaching. My mom called me and she told me that my nieces and nephews were in foster care. Prior to that, we had heard that our nieces and nephews were just kind of like missing. So we had no idea what was going on. Um, it was just like a really weird situation. I didn't know like what was processing through my head, but like I knew that like if they were in foster care, I was gonna have to step up in some way. And so long story short, they ended up with us, my mom, my partner at the time, and we took them in and just kind of created a new home for ourselves. It turned from just the three of us to the seven of us, and from there, I just had to learn how to become a parent overnight, which was super scary. I had no idea what I was doing, but I knew deep down inside of me there was something that needed to like help us connect more. And so through I guess just using things that I had learned, like coaching, I tried to get them into volleyball. I tried to get them into karate. I tried to, just take them to the park, just do different things to connect with them. But I knew we had to do something that was deeper and more meaningful. And so, for whatever reason, writing a book came up, and it was something that I'd always wanted to do when I was a kid. And I decided one day, let me just introduce the idea to the kids, to my family, to JC, and they loved the idea. And so we decided to write a book together. It started off as like a small rhyming book, and it transformed into a chapter book that was, after we found the publisher. But yeah, we wrote the book, but like literally as soon as we were done, I started to give up on the idea and was like, okay, well, we wrote it, but like, what are we gonna do? We have no connections. I'm not a writer. Like, oh God, what do I do? And my partner, using his resources and his support, was like, we're gonna find a publisher by just reaching out to people. And that's what he started to do, just reach out to friends, family members, people we had been in contact with. And someone connected us to April, which is the publisher for O'Leary Publishing, which is who we, wrote the book through. And she loved our story. And so from there, we made a connection. We connected. We were able to write the book. Um, and yeah, the book, became its thing. And so I kind of thought it would stop there. And April told me about Book Naples, and I was like, no, I'm good. I'm not a public speaker. Thank you, though. So I turned her down, and she was like, I think we could revisit this and really have a conversation about the potential of this. And so I was like, oh, I don't know what to do. I don't really want to speak. I mean, I've already written the book. I've already put myself out there. What more, what more can I really do? And my partner sat me down again, giving his support, his love, and was like, I think you should do it. I think you should speak. And something about just having someone there to support you in that moment made me feel confident enough to sit down with April and rethink the idea. And so I decided to become a speaker at Book Naples. And since we've spoken at Book Naples, I've been able to start my podcast. I've been able to write another book that's coming out in December, another book that will be coming out later after that. It's just been like an amazing turn of events, but never in my life would I have imagined that, from taking in those kids, it would spiral into me kind of finding myself and figuring out a new way to express myself. So, yeah, that's my story in a nutshell.
Oh my gosh. When I heard your story, like becoming your family growing
Yeah.
that much so quickly. Wow. I mean, you have done an amazing job. You're so good with them. I saw you and I'm just so proud of you. And so you've always wanted to write a book. That was
Yeah.
something. Okay. And you have another one coming?
Yeah. Yeah. So I've always wanted to write a book. I did I got an AA in college, but stopped there. But I took journalism classes, and so that was like something that like I knew like always as a kid I was good at writing. It was something I wanted to do, but never really pursued it. But yeah, we're co-writing a new book coming out with a group. It's called Trajectory. The book title is still in works, but basically it's a compilation of just amazing stories from people that have been through some crazy events. And we're tying them all together to just kind of bring people positive stories that they can look forward to help uplift them if they're in certain situations. So like pertaining to mine, raising the kids, becoming a dad overnight, like it's me and JC's story of how we came together to raise a family. And if we can help anyone that may be caught in that situation as a surprise, that's kind of where our story comes in. So yeah, we're really excited about that. And then I'm working on the sequel to Icarus Finds His Power, which is the children's novel. I worked with the children. So, yeah, we got a lot of things working on over here.
I love it. So have you always had the confidence to do these things? Like, was it something that did you have the support growing up, or did you have to find that within?
Definitely. Yeah, so when it comes to confidence, it's been something that I have struggled with till this day. But, obviously with everything that's come up, with the book and the speech and everything that I've done in between, I feel like there have been so many things that I've done in between those things to help me kind of find my confidence. And like one of the main things that I really want people to pull from my episode is I needed support. And so whether that was from JC, being my partner, or if that was working one-on-one with a practitioner, like those were the things I was doing to help find my confidence within. Um, I don't think everyone needs to work with a practitioner or needs a partner to feel supported, but in my case, that those were the things that helped me kind of find myself because, I was on a journey of finding myself before the kids, before me and JC were a relationship. And I literally was asking God, the universe, whatever you want to call it. I was asking for guidance and to be supported in the right ways and to find love in the right ways. And, I had been dating before that and not really making the best decisions in my dating. And I wasn't asking for that guidance either. And so when I finally kind of stopped myself and said, I'm done living this life of just going forward without any kind of purpose. I need purpose. I need direction. I need love, support. I need these things in my life. I started writing it down in my journal. I literally wrote down a list of what I want for the kind of guy I want to date. I don't want to date these guys anymore. I don't want to find them this way. I want, this person to bring this to my life. And when I started doing those things, and finding support from my practitioners, that's when I feel like things started to change for me. Even before I met JC, it was whether it was journaling and doing uh, any kind of note taking, like that was my way of checking in, reflecting within, and then after, when me and JC became a relationship, it was working with the practitioner and, doing inner child work and finding that little boy in me that, still hurt from whatever event happened back, when I was 8, 9, or, whatever that, whatever caused that traumatic, break or, stem from me. But yeah, it's been a lot of support that I feel like I've been able to find my confidence and being able to do the things that I've been able to do. And I'm super grateful for the people that I've been able to work with. Like, I just want to shout out like Julia Phoenix. If anyone wants to, go check out my podcast, I was able to interview her. She was one of my first practitioners, that introduced me to inner child work.
Yeah.
Um, there's so many that you can find too, but yeah, I would say confidence comes with a lot of support, and feeling supported. So
Yes, I completely agree. And sometimes we don't even know until we're faced with something and we're like, wait a minute, why am I feeling this way? And why is this holding me back? There are limited beliefs that you just have to get past and you get through. And once you can kind of like muddle through those, and then it opens up this whole world, doesn't it?
yeah.
And I love how you said that you wrote down everything that you wanted in a partner. And
Mhm.
so to go a little further, because my mentor would say, write down all the qualities that you want in a partner. And first of all, become that person,
Mm,
right? Because how can I ask for someone that's like, you know, honest and compassionate and all of that if I'm not?
exactly.
Yeah. So I loved that. And so you found all of those things, the things in the right partner, definitely because you have been on fire.
Yeah.
And so have you been doing book signings, other has this opened up? What has the book done for you? Because I know what it's.
Yeah. It's it's been amazing, just the reception that I receive from people that have just been able to hear my story. Like, the book in itself is just like I love the fact that we're authors now and that we can claim that title, um, because it is something that you work so hard for when
Yeah.
you decide to take that
Yeah.
step in writing a book. And it was a tough journey to put that together. And I'm so grateful and proud of myself for doing that. So for me personally, it's really helped me just like kind of hone who I've wanted to be for so long. But going into like what it's opened up, it's just like even with the speech, like the speech came about because I wrote the book,
Mhm.
because I wrote the book, I made a connection at the speech. And, at the speech, I met several people that came up to me and gave very heartfelt testimonies about how my story specifically touched them because it was closely related to something that happened in their family.
Yeah.
So just hearing that experience of how connected we are and just what we go through, how it can be so similar to the next person that we may meet or impact by just telling our story. So I'm grateful that it's, opened up in that way where I can hear how I'm connecting with other people. But it's also helped me start my podcast. It was something that I did years ago and just gave up on. Once again, something else I gave up on. Um, and I don't think that I would have started it without feeling like, what is the purpose of starting a podcast? Why do I want to do this? What am I giving to anyone by putting my voice out there. And I looked at it as an opportunity to not just give myself a voice, but anyone that comes on a voice. And in doing that, that's like my way of showing the universe that we are all in this together. We all matter. So yeah, just the book has really just opened my eyes to the limitless possibilities that we have as people and what we can truly do if we really want to. So yeah.
Yes, thank you. I love that. And I have your book right here.
Oh,
And
thank you.
I love it. I love the illustrations too. Like, um, why is this not why is this not a movie?
Thank you so much. You know what's so funny is that like I want to do like an adaptation and like and make like a little cartoon or whatever and then hopefully someone pick it up. But yeah, I don't I want anyone and everyone to hear the story of Icarus, and just because it's loosely based on my situation or the children's situation about losing a parent and having to figure out life as a child after that. So I think it would be really impactful if it was made into a movie, but I'm putting it out there to the universe now.
It's done. It is done.
You heard it here first.
It's already done.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. So it's all about timing and the right, like, there are some things that are crazy that I knew was going to happen in my life, and I had no idea how or
Mm-hmm.
when. And that's like this.
Mm-hmm.
And you just don't know. I'll tell you what, the book that I co-authored, um, somebody knew Phil Goldfind. And so he was reading our book, and I'm like, come on, that's it. Let's go. Hollywood producer, this is it. Documentary. Come on.
Yes.
12 people around the world. Like, who we don't know who that gets their hands on that.
Yep.
And so you put it out there in the universe and you know it's going to happen. And then you're just like, okay, when the timing's right.
Mm-hmm.
I can
Yeah.
definitely see that though.
Thank you. Yeah,
Oh,
you know what's funny is that it was just an idea too. What started off as an idea is, branched out into, a book, into
I
merchandise,
know.
like it's really transformed into its own thing. And I'm just so grateful to have had the experience of just being able to say that I want to do this and I'm going to do this, like no matter what. And so I hope people hear that. Like, if you say to yourself, I want to do this, if
Mhm.
there's any ounce of like, I feel I'm called to do this, please take the opportunity and do it, because you will regret not doing it for the rest of your life, and we only live once, unless
Right.
you believe in the reincarnation thing, but
Right. Well, have you spoken to people that are like, "Oh, I always wanted to write a book." Do you hear that?
a lot, a lot.
Yeah.
And I say every single time someone tells me that, write your book. You need to write it. Like, even if it's you writing it, putting it on Amazon and just putting it out there, like that's you becoming a self-published author. Like,
Yeah.
the power in that just
I
is
know.
amazing, because like you said, it opens so many doors. And I just don't think people take that time to really understand, like, when you take time for yourself to do something that you're leaving for others, like, it comes back in such beautiful ways. And so, yeah,
It
I say write it.
does. I know. Right? Me too. I'm like, "You have to do it."
Hmm.
I was talking to someone the other day. I said, "Okay, so the first thing that you need to do is just write down like what it looks like, just the
Yeah.
chapters. Just give it a little something and just start."
Hmm. Just
Yeah.
start.
How did you come up with like the names, the characters, the all of that? How did that come about?
Dreams. Honestly, dreams. A lot of dreams that I've written down, character names that I loved. inspiration from stories that I love, like Icarus and his situation is loosely based on Icarus, the kid that flew too close to the sun. I don't know, it's like a uh, Greek mythology story. Um, so, taking those stories and expanding on just the littlest detail to flesh out a character is just like innate in me. That's how I write when I'm writing a book, especially, fantasy stories. So yeah, just really like just expanding on the dreams that I'm having, the character names that I like, or just like the stories that I've loved all my life, and just taking the little details from them and expanding on them to create my own little fantasy world. But also, the kids collaborated a lot with it. They gave a lot of inspiration when they were drawing the characters from the rough formats, that we started with to what we ended with now. Like everything is loosely based on what they drew. So their inspiration and their little loving, kind hearts really helped drive, the book forward. So
I
um,
love that. And that's where to really be able to reach the youth. I love that because their minds are just still developing and they believe that they can do anything,
yeah.
right? Our imagination, we don't want to lose that. So,
Hmm.
okay. So where from here, if what would you love? If you could have anything, what do you envision? What would you love?
Hmm. What would I love? I would love to. Hmm. I feel like I'm getting the opportunity right now with just like holding my own platform and even being on this
Mhm,
platform. So thank you,
mhm.
being able to tell my story. But I would love for, I would love if I could have an event, and this is just me thinking out loud, have an event where all of the people that I have met, all of the people that have been on the podcast can come together and do an event that would inspire so many people to just follow their dreams. I feel like the biggest thing that we are missing in today's time is people actually going after what they want and believing that they can do it. Um, and so many of us are just stuck in that 9 to 5 hustle and bustle, um, including myself, to an extent, and I think there's so much that we can get from just living life and doing what we were called here to do, that not a lot of people are really benefiting from. So if there was a way that I could create an event that could inspire people to go after their dreams and follow it, write that book, tell that story, start that, nonprofit, whatever it may be, like I would love to do something like that. That have, the podcast, all the books that we're creating centered around it, where everyone is not only, telling their story, but making a profit from it. So, yeah, I think that would be amazing.
Nice. Okay. All right. You put it out there,
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
right?
The last time I put out an event, it literally changed friendships. You know what I mean? Like, my whole circle changed because I wanted to throw an event. And so now it's like, yeah. Yeah, I definitely would I just love supporting people. So any way that I can feel supported and do the same thing for others, like that would just be like creme de creme.
Oh, oh, that's so amazing. I love that. You have
Thank
such a kind heart, and I I'm so honored to have met you.
you.
And seriously, it's been a while since we talked. And, I'm like, wait, like we see each other on social media and all that. And I know we're busy, but we definitely need to stay a little more connected because who
Yes.
knows? Maybe this just comes together, everything. Your event comes together because by
Hmm.
putting it out there and telling people.
and
Yeah.
you would need to be there. So yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
we need
Is
to
it
connect more.
okay?
Yeah.
Where is it gonna be?
I don't know yet. Like where would I be? Where would the event be that would be really cool? I feel like somewhere really like nice and fancy like New York or like LA, like downtown LA or something
Mm.
really like I don't know, something really cool where they
Yeah.
have good food.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. I love that. Oh my gosh. So besides um writing, do you coach volleyball? Are you still in volleyball?
Yeah, I still not volunteer. I coach for the city that I used to live in. I just moved recently, but I coach it's like a skills camp for the community. I do it because I love volleyball, and
Yeah.
that is like one of my passions. But also, it's like a way that I feel like I can give back to young kids, anyone that's looking to learn the sport, or just, gain some knowledge, and a way to connect. Like I feel like you said, youth is just they're our future. And so I feel like if there's any tidbit that I can give to them, any amount of love that I can give in any way, um, that's and especially through volleyball, like that's my jam. So I'm all down for it. um Beyond that, like I've taken a step back from like coaching competitively a little bit. That was a lot.
Right.
So yeah, not that much anymore, more so just like for fun and for the community. Yeah.
I know we should have had a volleyball with us when we were in
Hmm.
Naples. Volleyball is my favorite sport. I wouldn't
Oh
say that.
wow.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm like fantastic at it, but I can kind of hold my own,
Hey.
you know.
I love that. See, connections all around. I had no idea that you played volleyball.
Yeah, and my daughter Paige, I mean, she was the libero on her team.
Oh, okay. See, I had no idea. Wow. Like,
Oh my God.
I had no idea. That's so crazy. I knew when I met you guys, there was something that was like super like cosmic about you guys that made me like, oh, I gotta know them more. I like wanted to talk to you every time you were in the same room. So I'm so glad that we connected, and I'm so glad that we just get this opportunity to talk and connect. But
I know,
I
me
yeah,
too.
do need
We're
to
gonna
keep in contact.
That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna play some volleyball on the beach when we come out to California
Yes,
next time.
absolutely. Please let us know. We would love to have you guys. We love entertaining.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of space, so you're more than welcome.
Oh, I love that. Oh, that sounds absolutely amazing. Um, yeah, so anything else that you would like to add, or is there anything that you would want people to know about you that we don't know?
Mm, I mean, I think mainly right now, I think a lot of what I'm doing and like what I'm trying to like how I'm trying to progress forward in life is just by bettering myself, and bettering my situation for not just the people around me, but just like so that I can make more of a global impact. And
Mhm.
so even with the guests that you guys will see coming on the podcast, as well as Roberta that was on the podcast, everyone has such a unique story that is so poignant for today and what's going on, and how everyone can really find so much more greatness in life. So if anyone is really just like paying attention to anything that I'm doing, pay attention to the people that I'm interviewing, pay attention to the people that I'm talking to, and pay attention to their stories, because they're saying these stories at this time because it could really resonate with you, and because it's super important for us all to just really check in with ourselves and really ask ourselves, what do we want from life and why are we here? So if anything, that's what I'm hoping people get from me, and what they're seeing from me lately.
Awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about the water?
Oh
You know
yeah.
anything about water?
I know a lot about water. So Yeah, so it's so funny. I always forget to mention this, and I feel like this is something that I need to start with
Yeah.
from here on out, because it's transformed my life. And if anyone has not learned about it, you can go to my website, thelivingwatercouple.com. There are a few different instructional videos that kind of just tell you what's going on with the water in our system right now, what's going on with a lot of bottled water. So if you drink a lot of bottled water, this message is for you. There are so many microplastics. There are so many
Mhm.
disease-borne things that are happening within our bottled water. There was just an article released the other day about Fiji having all of their water bottles be recalled because they were contaminated with some kind of, I don't even know what it was, but some kind of like fungus. Anyways, we decided a few years ago when we got the kids, especially, that we wanted to change our water. And so we had met our upstream, which is her name is Kira, and she introduced us to the water, which is Kangen water. Basically, what it is it's water that mimics what happens in nature. Um, so think about what I'm not explaining it right, and I'm not a scientist, so please take what I'm saying and
Yeah.
go to the website that I said. It'll help out so much more. But just think about, water that's hit by electricity. That water is going to be purified to its purest form. And so the machine that we have, the Kangen K8, it mimics what happens in nature. And so it's giving you the purest form of water. And water holds a lot of memory. And so when you're running it through, the pipes in our system and you're running it through the drainage systems, like it's holding all of these disgusting memories, all of these disgusting enmities that they pull from the water system. And essentially the K8 helps clean all of that and brings the water back to life. And so essentially what I'm saying is that I'm drinking living water, which is water that is it's water that's really good for you. It's water that actually hydrates you.
Yeah.
A lot of the water that we're drinking now from bottles from the tap is not hydrating at all. Um, so I would highly suggest anyone that does not know about Kangen water to look it up. Like I said, the livingwatercouple.com has a bunch of information that is at full disposal to you guys. There's even a free ebook that you get when you go to the website that just gives you more information on what you're drinking versus what you could be drinking. So, yeah, like I said, I wish I could explain it better, but
No.
I did it more so just for my family's health.
Yeah, yeah, I get that. And it's so important. I've done a little bit of research on things, and I do know that you get a lot of the like hormone disruptors that the plastic actually seeps into the water. So you're really drinking plastic when you drink out of a bottled water. Now, every once in a while, it's okay. If that's all there is, it's better than, whatever,
Yeah.
than the other option. But I completely love that.
Mm,
I love that you're doing that. And it's so, so important. And some people are like, yeah, but I mean, I have a filter on my refrigerator. It's like,
yeah. I hate, and it's so funny. I'm starting to get more and more people on the podcast that are from my water community that can speak to it and can give you the science. And I recently had someone on the podcast. Her name is Grace Cavallo, Cavello, sorry. And she spoke a little bit about how it changed because she had a lot of menstrual
Mhm.
issues. And she said after starting to drink the water, it completely changed that for her. Like she doesn't have cramps anymore. She doesn't have like long periods. She's
Yeah.
not feeling that discomfort. And I think that's crucial for women that may be going through menstrual cycles that are hell. And so
Yeah.
yeah, it's changed my life. It's changed a lot of different people's lives that have been drinking the water. I've noticed a difference when I go like on a trip. If I don't bring the water with me, I'm super dehydrated. My skin starts to chap. Like it's
Mhm.
just, yeah, it's a whole different experience for my body now because it's used to the upgrade that I've put it through with drinking this water. So
Right. I know it's really, you guys, this is huge. I
Hmm.
love that you're doing this. I love it. I have really turned to a lot of, holistic alternative treatments and finding the healthier versions of everything. And
Hmm.
water should be one of the one of the most important things that we're putting in our body.
Hmm.
So
Absolutely.
keep sharing that.
I will. Thank you for
Yeah.
bringing that because, like I said, we have a separate page for that one, and I do want people to know about it, but I'm just so many different things trying to juggle. So, like, thank you for bringing that up because I definitely want people to know you
Yeah.
can learn more about the water. You can get your own system from the website. Yeah, there's even a shower unit. Like, if you're
Mhm.
yeah, it's crazy how much we have to be really conscious of these things. And like you said, the healthier version of water, like who would even think that that's a thing? But it is. Like it really is.
Right? Yeah, and I love there's like a the thing for your shower, the filter. How important is that? I never
Hmm.
really thought about that. Oh yeah, I'm absorbing all of this into my body. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah, please tell everybody again, like where they can find that and then where they can find you on all your platforms.
Yeah. So if you want to find me on my platforms, it's going to be Devon Taylor Author just about everywhere. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, devontaylorauthor.com if you want to go and check out the book or any of the merchandise. But if you want to check out the podcast, that's the Devon Taylor Podcast. You can find that on Spotify, Apple Podcast, on YouTube now. Anywhere you watch podcasts, you can find that. But if you specifically want to dive into the water stuff, and it goes deep, y'all. So I'm just going to give you that forewarning, okay,
Mhm.
before you go and dive in. You can go to the Living Water Couple on Instagram, or you can go to thelivingwatercouple.com to check out, like I said, the informational videos. You can get the free ebook or any of those resources. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
that's me.
awesome. Thank you so much. Because I just know by watching what I'm putting in my body, I think that's what's helped
You look
with
great.
my skin, everything. Thank you.
Hmm.
Thank you so
Period.
much.
I was like, when I
Yeah.
saw you, I'm like, okay, maybe
Oh,
it's keeping up with everything. Yeah, yeah, you look very good. You look lively. Yeah, and
yeah.
I think if anything, when people are watching you, they can see that. So if you guys can see that, please listen to what she's saying. Yeah, it's super important about what we're putting in our body.
Yeah, it is. Yes, thank you. And it helps you not just, you know, the way you look, the way that you move and
Hmm.
every single thing about you. So, yes, thank
Hmm.
you so much. It
Of
was so good catching up with you. And we are going to do this again sooner than later,
Yes.
right?
I would love to. Yes. Thank you for having me. This was so great. I feel so seen. I feel really good about this. This was awesome.
Yay, good. Me too. I it's been too long. So
Yeah.
I'm so glad that we got these platforms, our podcast going, so we could do this and meet up
Hmm.
again.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. This was so cool.
Oh, thank you. And thank you everyone for joining us too. And I know that you feel empowered after this. And I know that you've seen too about just finding your authentic self. And that's what I'm about is finding your purpose here in life. And it's a journey and it's so beautiful. And, if you want to live an extraordinary life, reach out. I would love to talk to you through my VIP coaching. And yeah, let's talk. And until next time, and I like to leave this because instead of saying goodbye, my grandma, like, she didn't like to say goodbye. She would say, so long, until next time.
Mhm.